Good morning, me again, welcome back to a surprise part 2, sort of. Last week, we talked about the trend of changing your skin tone by baking yourself in a human-sized oven. Getting a nice looking tan at the expense of your skin cells is the ideal beauty standard in some parts of the world.
How did you get that color?
Today we're going to talk about the other side of the spectrum, which might be even worse. Gotta have some sort of continuity in this weird metaverse that I created. If you grew up as an Asian person or lived anywhere in Asia, you would know all too well about staying out of the sun to avoid getting darker and the existence of skin whitening products. Whitening your skin is tanning's older cousin, with a backstory, like how the poor people had to work outside and the rich people stayed indoors. Before, those influencers from Europe started the trend of colonization. So pack your bags and bring sunscreen. We're going on a guided tour of several countries. If you do get lost, you're getting left behind because we're on a tight schedule here. And when I say Asia, we're not just talking about China, Japan, and Korea, as some people like to believe. We're going to everywhere in Asia. This is basically an iceberg where the deeper we go, the scarier it gets. Let's start off with East Asia. The creators of anime, K-pop, and Genshin Impact. The best word that I can use to describe Japanese media is quirky. They make some of the weirdest stuff that I've ever seen. You ever see a dog walk on its hind legs and try and sell you potato chips? Like, what in the furry suit is this? Asian skin tones can vary, from Edward Cullen all the way to Jacob Black, and everything in between. But there's still an emphasis on fair skin as the beauty standard. If we take a look at Japanese commercials for skin products, most of the time, you'll see people with perfect glowing skin, usually on the lighter side. Their skin does have some post-production editing, but it still looks pretty natural and normal. If I'm using the word normal to describe people, what does that mean for what we're going to look at later? You ever think, what if every time I wash my face in the morning, I could make it lighter? Well, now you can with Tokyo White soap, a very natural way to brighten your skin on a budget. The premium, highly potent natural whitening soap that powerfully whitens, thoroughly smoothens, and effectively evens the skin, enriched by Moisture White. Oh my god. This is just soap that anyone can buy at the store. And if this commercial didn't convince you to buy some whitening soap, their slogan definitely will. Tokyo White. See the white, feel the white, live the white. Okay, if I heard someone say this in public, I would not feel safe. As you can see though, this beauty standard is all over Asian media. If you're an anime watcher like me, you've probably seen shows like Naruto, One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen. Have you ever noticed that most of the characters have very similar skin tones? Sometimes 90% of a cast of characters will have pretty much the same skin color. Honestly, this might not even be that deep, but it is something that I noticed. It could just be easier for the artist to draw, since they don't have to do as much shading. Anime's target audience is Japanese people, so it would make sense that the characters are catered to them. And then comes the rise of K-pop, that showcased Asian beauty standards across a global audience. With the few exceptions like Jessie, Kai, and Hwasa, you'll often see these celebrities, actors, or idols with skin tones no darker than when TikTokers make iced coffee. That is a glass of milk with a drop of coffee. It is getting better nowadays with more people embracing darker skin tones, but if you've ever bought makeup in Korea, you'll know that the shade range is very limited. Basically, you can count the number of shades on one hand. A very common struggle is trying to match your foundation shade to your actual skin tone. Well, I don't know who did these K-pop idols' makeup, but they need to sue and get some money for emotional damage. Sorry, someone said they look like they're in the process of getting embalmed. Even professional pictures get the Photoshop treatment to brighten up people's skin tone. People will tend to look lighter because of lighting, but this is a mixture of bright lights plus the brighten tool on Photoshop. Looking the same shade as a light bulb might sound crazy, but this is what the people want.
Speak Spanish.
Anyone speak Spanish and can translate? This video is one of the 10 great mysteries of the world. So we've talked about putting things on our faces to make them lighter. Well, guess what? There's also an option to put something in your body to whiten your skin from the inside. Your favorite idols are getting supplements and injections known as glutathione, which is an antioxidant that your body naturally makes. But with these injections, you're just giving it some extra juice.
Do you guys know what the #1 procedure that Korean celebrities get done? It's called the glutathione injection, and it's also nicknamed the IU injection. It's basically an intensive glutathione shot that is supposed to help cleanse your liver and detox your body. But one of the side effects is that it helps to prevent a lot of melanin production, and by doing so, it completely brightens up your skin. IU is known for getting in a lot, which is why it's also nicknamed the IU injection. But basically, celebrities need it to cleanse their body, boost their immunity, but at the same time, it helps to completely brighten up their skin tone.
IV glutathione is also used in Asia all around to lighten the skin, but we have to get rid of this idea that the lighter the skin, the more beautiful. That just is not true.
I've been following IU since she debuted, and I never knew this until now. Using glutathione as a skin whitening agent is still pretty new. There's not a lot of scientific studies that prove how effective it is. Some people had a hunch and a marketing team, which equals a profit, I guess. And you know what? I didn't think it would come down to this, but not even animals are safe from beauty standards.
เขาอะแค่คอยหลบแดดอยู่แต่ที่เย็นๆจนค่อยๆขาวขึ้นอย่างเป็นธรรมชาติใน 10.4 ล้านสัปดาห์
So what you're saying is that if I stay inside my house for 100,000 years, I can experience white privilege too? That doesn't seem too hard. I already do that like 80% of the time. Also, is this how evolution works? Why are we learning this from a therapist or whatever doctor she is? I don't know about you, but me and that bear literally had the same reaction.
เป็นมนุษย์เวอรีนาแอลกลูตาเบอร์รี่พลัสมีกลูตาไทโอน250 มิลลิกรัม
Ma'am, you need to stop drinking your juice. There's a bear in your office that wants to change races. If she doesn't give it that whitening juice and get some bear spray, in the words of Liam Payne,
don't remove those hands. There's a high likelihood you'll never use them again.
That is such a British thing to say. It's just an awesome.
Commercials like these back in the day were very common, and if you lived in Asia, this is the norm. But I can name like 20 different things that are wrong in the first 5 seconds. Bears don't have opposable thumbs. What are those? Speaking of commercials convincing people to buy their products, the Philippines is notorious for having the highest rates of using skin lightening products and people finding different ways to bleach their skin.
We do scrubs, lasers, wet and dry dermabrasion, capsules, intravenous. So we treat it from the inside, we treat it from the outside. My motto is to make the Philippines the most beautiful country in the world.
Damn, that's a lot of different things you can get. Like, are people getting all of these done at once? After all this, you're gonna go from Bruno Mars to Bruno from Idaho. And look, it's glutathione, our friend that we learned about from before. But this time, we're seeing it in a fancy office with a fancy name, the Cinderella Drip.
So we are about to see the Cinderella Drip, which is a mix of glutathione and vitamin C. It hasn't been approved for cosmetic use by the FDA. Dr. Bello's clients are willing to drop hundreds of dollars per session, taking on the risk in hopes of getting whiter.
Did she ask Cinderella for the rights to use her name for this? I feel like her brand is more losing her shoes in public and minimalism. I don't think she would approve this. The lady that runs this clinic, Dr. Bello, works with many celebrity clients and says that having white skin in the Philippines is almost like a status symbol because it shows people you've got a high social class. The beauty standard for having pale skin here is on a whole nother level, where it can determine what opportunities you can get in life and basically your worth. That's why, if you don't have the money to go to a professional clinic, skin whitening products are available on every block. Kind of like how we have Starbucks everywhere that are basically built on top of each other. The products that get sold to everyday people tend to be less regulated. You can squeeze some lemon in a jar of lotion and call it a skin whitening product. It's a really scary cycle where some people don't even have a choice. If you're poor and need lighter skin to get a leg up in life, then you'll do anything.
Whitening. Anong bestseller yung mga papaputi? Safe to ate Yun yung ginamit ko Talaga? Ano mga ilang ganto bago maging effect? Gamit ko lang ko lang, di ba naubos? Wow.
The people selling these beauty products probably don't even know any better. You would think that manufacturers aren't adding poisonous substances to things we put on our face, but for some reason the chemical named after a planet can sometimes be found in these products.
It is illegal to sell skin whitening products. They include poisonous chemicals like hydroquinone and mercury.
Tony and I tested every cream they bought.
Way beyond the limit.
Jar after jar contained mercury at illegal and alarming levels.
Wow, so this is over 4 times the legal limit.
More than 42,000. This is 42,000, way beyond.
Other than constantly having ads, celebrities, and media telling you to make your skin whiter, social media and TikTok have also hopped into the skin whitening train, featuring trends like this going viral in India, where you use a face filter that makes your skin really dark and you act really sad cause your skin is really dark? Give these people an Oscar. I can recognize that emotion. It's when you're wiping sauce off your face from the chicken wings. After a brief moment of being emo, the filter vanishes and people are back to their regular skin tone to show how lighter skin is more beautiful than darker skin. I'm sure we don't have to explain why people stop doing this trend after a month. If you ever applied for a job, usually you'll get hired based on your talents and how experienced you are, right? Sure, but how well you work isn't the most important thing. It's actually how light or dark your complexion is.
This is a modeling shoot for an Indian company that sells traditional Indian clothes to the Indian market.
Your makeup looks beautiful. Yeah. Where are you guys from? Ukraine, okay.
The strange thing here, there are no Indian models.
Wait, what? These models aren't even Indian? Talk about unrealistic. The beauty standard for Indian people is just be a whole other race. It's pretty easy. Just do a factory reset and adjust your settings.
Everything's about skin?
I think so.
Why aren't there Indian models?
Indian model is not fair like this much. They want the fairer look. Just little bit touch of Indian look.
In a lot of Asian media, superheroes and the main actors often have lighter skin to show people that this is the standard for a trustworthy good guy, while the villains and bad guys have a darker complexion so they look evil and sinister.
What the clients has tell us, he should be 5'10" above, fair looking, very dashing look.
So if somebody's a great actor, but they have a dark complexion, will you hire them?
Yes, we hire them only if the client says we need a dark complexion.
और मैं propose करने वाला, I mean propose नहीं, I was thinking about it, but
perfect, but it was perfect. Girl is very beautiful, she's very good looking. He is a perfect choice because again he is a fair skin, so he comes in upmarket. I will cast this one.
Well, was any of this acting good? I think he might need to hold another round of auditions. There are some places in Asia that will ask you to submit a photo of yourself along with your resume. Even for simple jobs like working in an office or receptionist, they need to see if you fit the look that they want, which is often someone on the lighter side. Like, come on, we just want to make phone calls and pretend how to use Excel. What does skin tone have anything to do with how competent you are at work? I don't really want to send a picture of me to my future employer. Just do what everyone else does and stalk my Instagram or something. It also gives me anxiety because I'm gonna accidentally send a picture of myself looking like this.
And Neha, how did you decide to get this treatment?
मुझे जॉब के लिए जाना था तो उसके लिए मेरे को इंटरव्यू के लिए गई थी तो वहाँ पर उन लोगों ने वो पूरा मेरा डॉक्यूमेंट सब कुछ अच्छे थे बट बिकॉज ऑफ लुक उन लोगों ने मुझे रिजेक्ट कर दिया फेयरनेस होगा तो मेरे को कोई बेटर अच्छा जॉब मिलेगा.
Even the doctor feels bad giving out these skin whitening treatments. But with the way that society is built right now, people just have to do this because their appearance will affect whether they'll get hired or not. In the end, humans are a bunch of weirdos. It seems like people always want the opposite of what they're originally born with. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be more fair or more tan. Skin tone is a personal choice, but it is important to realize why we're conditioned to make these choices. If you grew up in a certain culture, you're going to want to conform to what everyone else is doing. You don't have to, but you'll definitely have an easier time if you do. I hope you guys learned something new today. I certainly did after touring all of Asia with nothing but a Word document and 3 cups of coffee. Any Asians out there? I know you guys probably have a lot of stories about parents and relatives making comments about your skin tone. Hey, at least you're not a polar bear that changed races after staying out in the sun for 100,000 years. You can give this bear some therapy and the YouTube algorithm some engagement by leaving a like and a comment, which will also help me show up on your recommended with more interesting topics to talk about. Have a good day, try not to be dumb, and I'll see you in the next one.